Okay, in the last video we saw some value of the prime factorization as giving you a clue to all of the factors of a number, and I just want to illustrate it with this number. So what are all the factors of a number that has prime factorization given by 2 times 3 to the second power times 11? Just to remind you, this means this is 2 times 3 times 3 times 11. I'm going to choose a different pencil because there's something that I don't like about that one. Okay. And so one of the things that we saw was that any factor of this number can be written as some product of the primes. And I want to intentionally not actually multiply this number out because I don't really care what that big number is. The primes actually give me all of the information I need about all of its factors. So if I want to list out all of the factors, well, I can start with 1 is a factor of every number. And of course we have 2 and 3 and 11 are factors, as seen there. We can even see, so then we can start basically making combinations. So 2 times 3. And 2 times 3 is listed again, so 2 times 11. So that's basically multiplying 2 times any one of these. Multiplying 3 times any one of these, well, 3 times 2, we've already got 3 times 3. And 3 times 11. So these are all of the numbers that have basically 2 prime factors. And then we can look at all of the numbers that have 3 prime factors. So 2 times 3 times 3, 2 times 3 times 11, and 3 times 3 times 11. I believe those are all the numbers that have 3 of the factors, and then the last one is all of them. 2 times 3 times 3 times 11. Okay. So we can see like these are all of the factors of this number. And you can get that just basically looking at the prime factorization. So if I want to multiply these out to see what those numbers are, we have 1, 2, 3, 11. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 11 is 22. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 11 is 33. Let's see, this is 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Next one, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 11 is 66. 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 times 11 is 99. And 2 times 3 times 3 times 11, that is 18 times 11, and I'm actually going to use a calculator for this for expediency. 198. Okay, so this is the number 198, and this basically tells us what our entire prime factors, or like all of the factors of 198. And this is actually kind of convenient because if I was to ask you to list all of the factors of 198 to begin with, you might have a little bit of a hard time getting all of them. And so what you can do if you want to know what are all of the factors of 198, you can basically go through the same process, finding the prime factorization, and then going through this process of finding all of the combinations of the primes. So basically I would say start with any 2 factors. and you might get that, well, 2 goes into it. So 2 times 99. And then, well, you can break up 99. That's 2 times 9 times 11. And 9 is 3 times 3. So 2 times 3 times 3 times 11. So basically find the prime factorization. So starting with any factorization, moving to the prime factorization, and then we can use the combinations of primes to find all of the factors. So this is something that kind of takes away a lot of the guess and check of like finding this list of all of the factors of a number. You just start with any 2 factors, break down the prime factorization, and then take the combinations of the primes to find all of the factors. Okay, so moving along. The next thing we want to do is find all common factors of 2 numbers. Okay, so I'm intentionally giving you these in terms of prime factorizations. This is the same 198. Is it 198? Yeah. So this is the same 198, and this is another number. I don't know what it is, but I don't really care because I have the prime factorization, which kind of tells me what it's made of. Okay. So again, coming back here, we can see the prime factorization tells you all of the factors. Any factor of a number is made up of some combination of its prime factors. Okay, so if I want to find common factors of these 2 numbers, that's basically what factors do these 2 numbers have in common. Okay, so looking here, we can see they both have a 3 in common, and they both have an 11 in common, and I believe those might be all of the prime factors that are in common. So 2 is a factor here but not here, 5 is a factor in the second number but not in the first number. Okay, so 3 and 11 are the only 2 prime factors that they have in common. And if we ask for multiple factors, so the first number has 2 factors of 3, whereas the second number has only 1 factor of 3. The first number has only 1 factor of 11. The second number has 2 factors of 11. Okay, so 3 and 11 are common factors, but also their product, 33, which is 3 times 11. So that is a common factor. And these are going to be all of the common factors because those are the only combinations of primes that we can find in both of those numbers. Okay, and so among these, the greatest common factor is 33. That's the number that is made up of, it's like all of the things that are in common between those 2 numbers. Okay, and if we multiply these out, then we can see this number, of course, is 198. This number was 165 if you multiply it out. And so the prime factorization basically gives us a fast way to find the greatest common factor between 198 and 165. 33 is the largest number that is a that goes evenly into both of these two numbers.